So we're going to talk about some of the potential candidates for the 2024 presidential election in Taiwan. And we have three of them here. The first one is Foxconn owner Terry Guo Taiming. Yeah, who is also kind of present in many nations, mainland China, United States. So everyone knows who this guy is. And the current unelected vice president by 8.17 million ballots, William Lai, but that's just my opinion, but you don't have to agree with that. And he's kind of like, it feels very much like he's in opposition right now because the DP party is very, very split. And apparently, I don't think Taiwan likes her vice president too much because he tried to run for the DPP primary. So she kind of like shut that down and said, like, I don't care if you're 20 points ahead of me. I'm going to rig this poll and make myself a candidate again because I'm the president, And then we have,
Makes sense.
okay, Ho Youyi, current New Taipei city mayor, who is someone I'm very familiar with from the old days when I first got here in 2004. Because this guy is sort of like, have you seen Breaking Bad? Okay, you know the character Mike? Mike is the old guy who works for like the drug trafficker guy, Gus, and he goes in, he cleans everything up. If someone dies of a drug overdose, he goes in, he cleans it up. And that's what this guy is. He's a cleaner. He's a cleaner for the DPP. Whenever the DPP does something illegal, like fake an assassination attempt the day before the election, or the sitting president fakes their PhD. This guy goes in there and he cleans it up. So he's very, very strongly favored by the DPP party, and he's in the KMT party, which makes him even more electable because then people on both sides can vote for him. So basically, this guy is the DPP's number one mole inside the KMT right now, and unfortunately, the former New Taipei City Mayor and Eric Chu brought him in possibly to, appeal to pan-green voters or whatever back in the day. But he's not really a legitimate presidential candidate anymore. And my understanding is that they're a bit like rivals now because Ho Youyi has like overstepped Eric Chu and is basically wants to run for president without even asking him, even though Zhu Lilan is the KMT chairman right now. So, but anyways, what are your opinions of these three candidates?
Okay, so which one do you want to talk about first?
Talk about the one you're most familiar with first, Terry Guo.
Okay, well, I'm not really familiar with any of them. I'm not Taiwanese, I'm French. I want to make that clear from the beginning. This is not my country. So, and I'm only going to talk about the Wikipedia page. Okay? This is all the information I have. So I'm going to make a judgment from that, okay? So it's very personal and not very educated, I guess. So you know what? After reading this, the first thing that my conclusion was, this guy is a great businessman. He was a businessman all his life, and it's like he wants to redeem himself. Yes, after reading this Wikipedia article, This is how I felt. Because they say he wants to give away 90% of his money to charity, And maybe he wants to go into politics, but so for me, he wants to give back to the people. That's how I feel. Yeah.
Okay. That wasn't my impression of him, but yeah,
no
sure.
problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't hear anything about his charity work. I just thought that what I heard about his plans in 2019 was that if he became president, he had huge plans to create like an economic zone, I just thought he was going for something even bigger. Now, I'm sure he does want to give back to the people by being the president. And you know what, I just don't know that part of his politics. I don't want to make any judgments on that. But I didn't think that he was like Bill Gates, where he was like really focused on charity. The guy is definitely not retired, So unfortunately, Terry Guo was didn't win the nomination last time in 2019. So I heard he was kind of upset about that. So I don't know if he's going to be able to mend his relationship with the KMT party.
Yeah.
What we have to understand about the last presidential election is that Terry Guo was supposed to be the candidate, but Han Kuo-yu was more popular, and he sort of like many people felt he prematurely ran for office, and he got the nomination, which worked out great for the DPP party because Han Kuo-yu was not supported by the party. So I believe that an under the table deal was made to get rid of him because the KMT party and many senior members of media just don't respect him very much. He's very popular with the people, but that's a problem with having a candidate that's not supported by the party, not supported by the United States, which is sort of like the overlords of Taiwan, the unofficial overlords of Taiwan, where like a good candidate has to have support from the United States, support from the party, and support from the people. And it's difficult to get all three of those things and have a decent relationship with mainland China. So it's super difficult to get all four of those things. But I think Terry Guo might actually check all four of those boxes. I'm serious, right? He wasn't as popular with the public as Han Kuo-yu, and that was sort of the problem. I was disappointed that Terry Guo didn't run last time, and I'm afraid that he's not going to run this time because of what happened last time. And I think that would be a shame because I think it's a lot easier to win this time than it is last time because Tsai was not running for re-election. When the sitting president is running for re-election, like I don't care how many ballots behind the sitting president is. The sitting president can make it happen for themselves. I mean, we've seen that happen twice, 2004 and 2020. Sitting DPP presidents don't get voted out of office no matter how far behind they are. They will do whatever it takes to get reelected. It's just like game over, you know what I'm saying? So like, I think that's just kind of unfortunate because by all indicators, he's still not that gung-ho about running, and Ho Yo-yi is the one for his polls are
We can talk about him now?
yeah, his polls are leading, and the Taiwan government. Okay, what my point is that let me have this first. The Taiwan government is strongly supporting this man. So if this person becomes the nominee, this would be like a continuation of the Taiwan government, but through a different party, right? Because Taiwan's main opposition, the person she really doesn't want to see get into office, is actually the current sitting vice president. Right, because this guy is, they say, secretly supporting the investigation into her fake PhD in the London School of Economics because she cheated him out of the nomination in 2019. So there's a lot of bad blood between William Lai and Tsai Ing-wen. So what I'm saying is that if this guy runs for office in 2024, there won't be any election fraud in the election. Because Taiwan will see to it that this guy's elected. Because what does she care about? She can't be in office, so it's all about who's going to protect her. And this guy's a cleaner. And this person's not. Right? This person's a rival. So we saw this happen in 2008, where Chen Shui-bian didn't want Frank Hsieh to be in office. So he was like, no, it's going to be a clean election. And Ma Ying-jeou got a free pass. He got elected without any problems in the voting stations, essentially. So running for office when the DPP's had two terms is the best time to run. So I just think it's a shame that from what I'm hearing, that Terry Guo is not interested, because I think that he checks all of the important boxes, and he actually checked more boxes than Han Kuo-yu does, but he doesn't have as much public support. Anyway, okay, so what do you want to say about this guy?
I think this guy is a great politician. And it doesn't mean he's a good man. He's just a good politician,
Okay.
right? Career-wise.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. So I think he has very good chances of winning. Again, I'm talking from where I stand, okay? I don't even live in Taiwan. It's just after reading those articles, right?
Yeah.
I don't know them at all,
Yeah.
So I think he talks to, you know, like you said at the beginning, you have to take those 4 boxes. He does. He does. You know.
Does?
Yeah, I think he
I don't
does.
think he has any relationship with the United States or mainland China.
Well, I think they said something here about mainland China, or maybe it's, you know.
Are you getting things fixed up?
Yeah, maybe.
Kind of independence.
No, but you know the thing. So
It's very local,
Okay.
not international.
it's true, but
Yeah.
like, okay, let me correct that. Let me rephrase that. Regarding his relationship with both the KMT and the DPP, that can serve him very well.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay, so I'm
Yeah.
just gonna stick with that. Yeah.
Okay, but with mainland China and the United States, he,
Yeah.
as far as I know, he has very limited
But
contact.
that's his strength, right? Because he went to.
This guy went to the United States.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if the U.S. supports
Yeah, he
them.
got a degree from Harvard.
Okay. Wow, Harvard.
Yeah, and yeah, he went to Shanghai. He met with some CCP politicians. They say. So yeah, that's true. He does tick the 4 boxes, right? But not maybe not the DPP KMT crossover.
Well, no, I'm not saying that you have to cross over. I'm just saying
It's
that,
important because you have to gather people around you, right?
well,
You have to steal some votes from the other party.
yeah. I mean, I think that if we were setting up odds like a betting house, the odds for him becoming president are very low because of his bad relationship with Tsai. Like they're like, out to kill each other.
Why do you think Tsai is such an important person
But she's sitting
for the
president.
next election?
Oh, because she's in control of the Central Election Commission. She's in charge of Li Jingyong. And as long as she's president, Li Jingyong has to do what she says. Okay? As long as she's alive, I believe she will see to it that this person doesn't get into office. So one interesting thing is that when this guy purchased BNT, because the government was being very slow about purchasing vaccines in 2021, this guy bought a bunch of BNT and the government sort of delayed the import of BNT into Taiwan. Supposedly, they made him sign an agreement saying he couldn't run for president. So imagine you're a businessman, you want to donate vaccines to Taiwan, and they're saying you can't run for president. Is such an agreement even valid in a democratic country that a certain person cannot run for president? How would people respond to this kind of story in France? That you just made a donation of vaccines, you can't run for president. Would people think that's right?
You know, one very important thing about France is whether the media who are controlled by a handful of people decide to make it public or not.
Okay.
If something like this goes public,
It was made public.
yeah, then of course it would be a huge scandal because media would make it a huge scandal.
Yeah. But unfortunately, in Taiwan, it's more like, no. You better listen to the president. You can't run for. It's almost like in Taiwan, we say it's a democracy, but we accept that it's a dictatorship. In actual practice, everyone just sort of goes along
It's
with
a
things.
bit too much to say. It's,
Yeah. Whereas a Westerner comes here like me and be like, no, it's supposed to be a democracy, and then a local here says, no, we don't look at it that way. For example, when I posted a video exposing the election fraud in the 2020 election. Locals wouldn't do that because they believe they would go to jail for it. Whereas I did it because I think it's my right to do it. Right? Foreigner or not. Right? It's you can post those kind of videos in the United States, whether it's true or not, whether or not Trump was cheated or whatever. So why can't I do it here? Right? So, but in Taiwan, it's very sensitive. Taiwan is in a former authoritarian nation, so people still are dealing with the effects of it being authoritarian, and so they're not fully speaking up for themselves. They think it's dangerous, and they'd rather not get involved. And maybe mainland China's a little like that too, So yeah. So if we were setting up odds for these guys, I would say odds for him are low. William Lai Ching-te. Who knows? He might not even get the DPP nomination. If Taiwan puts her own person in for the DPP nominee, I would say that person has a very good chance because she controls the election commission. So, and then, however, if he does win the nomination, if he becomes a chairman, he wins the nomination, she manages to not cheat him the next time, then the government, Taiwan government, would very much like him to be running for president. If it's him versus him, I would say there's like 100% chance of him winning and a 0% chance of him winning, and there doesn't even need to be any fraud because his support is higher anyway, right? But the point is that you don't cheat when you prefer the person who has more support than you. So, but the interesting question is what if it's Terry Gould versus William Lai? Then I don't know what they're going to do because he doesn't want either of these guys in office. But I would assume that Terry Gould has a better chance because the Pan Blue camp has more support right now, and I think because they cheated last time, that like it's going to be harder for them to do it next time. You know what I'm saying? And I think that we still have another year before the presidential election. I think that eventually, like, it would, be a little dramatic, but I think that like Terry will eventually like fear the election victory. But he would need help because like you just never know what's gonna happen because like what if something happens to Taiwan? What if like the Taiwan independence camp led by him like gets lucky and like Taiwan passes away of natural causes like within the next year? Like this is I don't know. I'm not predicting. I'm not suggesting they're going to do something really bad, like assassination. Like, what if she just passed away of natural causes, right? I mean, it's possible. It's
Very unlikely.
I don't know her health.
She's young. She's young.
She's not that young. She's like 65 or something, right? But like anyway.
I don't know.
Yeah. But my point is that people do randomly pass away of heart attacks. So what if that happened and he became president? Then the Central Election Commission would be under his control. Then I would say, this is a path for him to the presidency.
Tsai will
If
not
something
be in
happens,
control of the commission from the day she stops being president.
well, that's May 20th. She has control of the commission until May 20th, 2024. The election happens in January. So she's in control of everything. Yeah. So like, no.
I understand.
That's why I said this guy's actually opposition. Right? He's like an opposition within the same party. So like, and remember, chief concern in Taiwan.
I think it's so undemocratic that the president is in charge of the election commission.
Yeah, but no one's complained
That's the
about that
first
in
thing.
Taiwan. Yeah. Should the person in charge of the election commission be a neutral person? That would be required in France. But in Taiwan, the president appoints someone from their own party to be the head of the election commission. So it's sort of like appointing your own referee. And no one thinks this is strange. Or people complained about it a little bit in 2019, and then people stopped complaining about it, and then people just go, well, that's just the way it is. There's nothing to do about it.
Listen, when we had our revolution in France in 1789, 200 years ago,
Yeah.
that was, 300 years ago.
Okay.
Before doing anything, they spent years, man, like 20 years, just to build the foundation of the system
Okay.
without even having elections or nothing,
All right.
And that was a terrible, it's like giving birth. It hurts,
Yeah.
It hurts, man, like hell. And it was a period of civil war. It was known as the terror, this period, 20 years. But what did people do during that time? They were building the bricks, the foundations of the system. And so they spent 20, and it was all aspects of societies, like going into that room, you can find famous paintings of that period of time, people debating and really, I want this in the Constitution. I want that, And it took 20 years, man. Everything was public, and nobody was in charge.
Transferring from imperial to republic. Yeah.
And dude, it took, it was so hard, man, and it was terrible. So many people died, and now we are into the fifth republic. So it takes time. It's a slow process, but people must understand that it's necessary, and it doesn't all happen in one day, So that's also a fact, So. Yeah.
Okay, let's get to our food. Thanks, everyone. But we gotta eat. The pizza's getting cold.